Hi, I'm Joe James. Welcome to my new series of videos, How to Survive in an NT World. This series of videos will basically be about me passing on my experiences, my knowledge, about how as a neurodiverse person I personally have survived and gotten by and become quite successful in an NT world. Neurodiverse, neurotypical, ND, NT. Neurodiverse can mean many things. Autistic, ADHD, dyslexic, OCD. It just means thinking differently, and therefore we can act differently and learn differently, and basically just be quite different. But there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. So I have been quite successful, despite many hiccups, many challenges, many bumps in the road, like massive hills. But you know, I am a successful adult. I have a beautiful wife, two amazing kids. I am a successful photographer. I have a full-time job as a manager, and also I have made my own poetry book. I've written novels, and I own my own house, and I own my own car, and yeah, I'm kind of winning at life, I feel. Plus I'm doing this, and I'm doing this because I want to help, and so I do hope this helps. So we're going to start these videos with friendships. I do believe that friendships are very important for neurodiverse people, and the best way for neurodiverse people to learn how to be friends or try and be successful with friendships is I would recommend be friends with neurodiverse people. So other neurodiverse people will tend to understand you better. They'll tend to, be more forgiving of your behaviours. They will tend to be less judgmental, and hopefully in turn you will be less judgmental of their behaviours. I find neurotypical people to be very confusing at times, which doesn't really help my friendships with them. But at the end of the day, I believe that neurotypicals, neurodiverse, we can work side by side, but anybody who is struggling to be friends with neurotypicals, try being friends with neurodiverse people. That is my number one suggestion. Number two suggestion, have multiple amounts of friends. If you have one friendship, it becomes really intense. That's kind of how we are. We're hyper-focused. We get very intense about one thing. I don't recommend that whatsoever. It tends to put too much pressure on a friendship, and therefore when you put too much pressure on something, it's far more likely to break. If you spread out that pressure, it's far more likely to not break. A little bit like when you're standing on ice. If you stand in one place, you might break through that ice, but if you spread yourself out, your weight will put less pressure on the ice, and you won't go through it. That's my scientific explanation of friendship. Spread that friendship. So have multiple amounts of friends. They don't always have to be friends with each other, but I do believe that if you have multiple friends, not too many, experiencing the fact that sometimes when you have too many friends, it's really difficult to be a good friend. But have multiple friendships. Very important. It works for me. It works for my autistic daughter. We have learned this the hard way, so hopefully this will help you. Third thing, learn friendships by watching television, and I don't mean watching Friends, which is interesting because that's kind of actually how I learned how to do it, and I didn't do it right. I learned a lot of how to be friends with people from watching TV, and I did not get most friendships right because those are fake friendships. Those aren't real. They're Hollywooded. So I would suggest watching reality TV. Things like Big Brother, the dating shows. I personally watch a lot of Come Dine With Me, of how to socially interact with people, you know, and it's a good way of you know, learning how to react to certain things in order to become more relatable, because you know that you know, it is a 50-50 thing. We have to work you know, being more relatable, but you know, so people understand us more, just as much as they have to work at accepting us. You know, there can be a 50-50 split. It doesn't have to be, well, I'm autistic and, you know, just put up with it, or I'm autistic and, you know, in your face. It doesn't have to be like that. You know, we can adapt. You know, that evolution is all about adapting. You know, we can adapt to change. You know, so we don't have to not be autistic. We don't have to not be neurodiverse. We can be that, but we can also adapt and you know, fit in. But that doesn't mean masking. It really doesn't mean masking, because we can adapt our actual personalities, our actual behaviours, by just sort of practicing, really. You know, just, you know, as you grow older, you will change, and hopefully, you will become the person that you want to be. You know, but if you don't try, you won't succeed. The fourth thing is don't let your anxiety run your life when it comes to friendships. Don't be worried that you've upset someone. Okay, if that's a true friend and you have upset them for any reason, they will tell you. If they don't tell you, I'm afraid that's not the friendship for you. Just move on. Don't give it a second thought. There's plenty of people out there, like I said, neurodiverse people, probably way more understanding than neurotypicals, and we do tend to just sort of say it as it is, which can be good and bad. But I think that it's a lot easier just to sort of be straight down the line when it comes to friendships. Obviously, don't worry if someone doesn't message you back immediately. They could be busy, they might be doing something else, they might just be like, do you know what, I can't be dealing with that right now, I'm not in the right headspace, so I'll, you know, deal with it later. Don't keep feeling like you've done something wrong. Don't keep feeling like you're the bad person. If you have done something wrong, like I said, and they don't tell you, that is on them, that is not on you. You just be you. You can only learn by making mistakes. You can only learn by getting things, you know, seemingly wrong. You know, it doesn't mean they are wrong, but, you know, socially they might not, you know, faux pas, as they say. But don't feel bad about, you know, trying. If you're trying, that, you know, that you can only do that. You can only try your best. So, yeah. Don't worry so much about getting things wrong. Don't let that anxiety rule you and stop you from trying friendships, or stop you from, you know, being you, basically. You know, don't let it stop you from going places and being part of a group. You know, the more you turn down, the more you don't want to be part of that group, the less often that group will invite you, and then you will feel on the outside, you'll feel ostracized, you feel neglected, and you don't have to be, because, you know, don't let your anxiety rule you. You know, you just keep trying. That's all I'm saying. Don't give up. I hope this helps. I'm going to do another video soon. Next one's about how to cope with a meltdown, which will be interesting. So yeah, see you later. Bye.